Hi, this is Samuel Lambert, and today I'm going to talk about the mindset that it takes to be a seven-figure land investor. A lot of people have these big hopes and big dreams of being a seven-figure land investor, but don't really understand what it takes to become that and the mindset that it takes to get you there and keep you there. But if you adopt the mindset that I'm going to lay out, it will make your seven-figure results inevitable. The first thing that a seven-figure land flipper has is extreme discipline. When you're going through your land flipping journey, you're going to have success early on because you're going to send mail, you're going to know how to pick your markets, and you'll have success. It's important to define your goals very clearly when you start out on your land flipping journey. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll make $60,000, you'll make $75,000 on one or two deals, and then you'll get complacent. You won't be hungry anymore. You won't actually be able to reach that seven-figure level because you've had this jolt of cash, which is really not that much money, but it feels like it is because you've got the time freedom and you've got the financial freedom at that point. But if your goal was to make $1 million in profit and become a seven-figure land flipper, you have to stay hungry. You have to reinvest back into your business. If you don't do this, it will keep you in a continuous cycle of hustling after deals. So you have to have extreme discipline, especially when you start to see success. When you start to see success in the land flipping business is when you actually need to put in more effort to keep yourself grounded and keep yourself disciplined because no one else is going to do it for you. Everyone else around you will see that you're successful. Everyone else around you will see that you have money. Everyone else around you will see that you're this big real estate investor, big land flipper, whatever it is. But in your mind, you should know that I had this goal of becoming a seven-figure profit land flipper, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. For me, when I first started seeing success in my business, I hunkered down. And yes, I had times where I lacked in my discipline. I had times where I lacked in my commitment. And every single time that I lacked in discipline or commitment, I paid for it grossly. And so you must be able to ground yourself enough to know that you have to have that discipline and commitment if you really want to get to where you want to go. Because most people don't have that commitment. It's inherently easy to make the money, but it's also very easy to lose the money. It's also very easy to make the wrong moves and then be right back at square one. So having this mindset and staying disciplined on your journey is integral to your success. Because if you don't have that, if someone doesn't tell you that in the beginning of your journey, you will mess it up. A seven-figure land investor is also extremely patient. Especially for me at the point in my career, I'm doing a lot of larger deals that take more time. So I'm doing deals that might take 6 months, 8 months, or I'm going to take a very large parcel, split it into multiple parcels, and then sell it off over time. And to get to that point, I had to be incredibly patient. Understand that your results when you're starting on your land flipping journey are not going to be instant. You're not just going to take the coaching day one and then make $500,000 your first day. It might take you 3 months to actually ramp up. It may take you 6 months to actually ramp up. But once you do, you're already there. You've arrived, right? And so now it's just the consistency that it's going to take to get you to that seven-figure level. But you have to be patient in the beginning. You have to be patient with sellers. You have to be patient with your mail. You have to be patient choosing your data because if we rush, we make mistakes. So be patient on your journey and understand that none of these things happen overnight. It takes time. It takes nursing. Think about a child. From the time that a child is in the womb to the time that they become what you always hope for them to become, that takes almost 20, 25 years. It takes decades for that to fully develop. In order to be the person that you want to be and have the business that you want to have, are you willing for that to take decades? And honestly, in the land flipping business, it doesn't take that long for you to get wealthy with this game if you're just patient. If you just follow the principles that I teach here at Lambert's, it's very simple to find your way to wealth quickly. But patience is required. If you get impatient, you'll start to burn yourself out. So have patience, but also have urgency. There's a middle ground. You see, some people in the land flipping business get way too patient and will wait months and months and months before they get a deal. If you're not getting deals from your mailers after a few months, you're doing something wrong. So you need to really audit every single thing that you're doing, whether it be your mailer, the data that you're choosing, the data house that you're choosing, how are you talking to your sellers, what is your script like, what do your sales cycles look like. You need to look at absolutely everything if you're not consistently getting deals. And then also you need to be tracking all of your numbers. A very successful seven-figure land flipper tracks all of their numbers. I know every single one of my KPIs for the last 3 years in every land business I've ever had. It's important that you know all of your numbers. How many calls are you getting on a daily basis, a monthly basis? How many mailers are you sending? What's the response rate of those mailers? How long does it take for you and your team to go from lead in to listed on the market? How long do all those things take? How do you shorten those sales cycles? How do you shorten that? Because when you know your numbers, you know how to improve upon your numbers. So it's very important to track every single one of your numbers. The biggest numbers that I track are how many qualified leads am I getting into my CRM, how long it's taking us to go from under contract to close, and how long it's taking our properties to sell on the market, depending on what market we're in. I also track the contracts that were signed per week. This brings me to my last point of being a seven-figure land investor, and it's important that you be very analytical with everything you do. Analyze every single number, analyze everything that you learn, take it in and utilize it for your success. A seven-figure land investor is analytical about everything. You have to be analytical in your start because you have to be able to find markets that are going to get you deals that are going to scale you up to that seven-figure land flipping profit. You also have to be analytical in talking to your sellers. If you cannot be analytical talking to sellers, understanding their situations, understanding who they are, why they want to sell to you, it's going to be very hard for you to get deals consistently. Also need to be analytical when selling your properties, because if you can't do that, your properties are just going to sit. So you need to be able to look at a property, decide, okay, I'm going to list this at 85% of what these comps are saying and what the broker is saying. So that way your property moves fast. If you're not able to track your listings based upon saves and views and looking at the ratio of saves to views to understand how to quickly sell your property, you're going to sink in this game. So it's important to analyze every single number. You have to be analytical in your mail versus your response rates. You have to be analytical in how your mailer actually looks. Every single part of this business is analysis based. The fourth and final thing that a seven-figure land flipper does is delegate. Once you get to the point where you have deals under your belt and you have cash flow under your belt, it's time to delegate. Delegate the menial tasks out, the transactions, getting the contract signed, getting an acquisition manager, getting a broker specialist. You get all these things together and you delegate in a way that allows you to free up your time. I'm able to record this YouTube video because I've delegated my land business. In any business that you have, once you get to the point where you have enough cash flow, it's important to train and delegate the task off. But you have to be able to do the task first. A lot of people just try to get in this game and then delegate and think they can do that. But how are you going to train something you haven't done? Every single task that I've hired out, regardless of it, and I have multiple employees. As it stands right now, I probably have around 9 employees, and by the end of the year, I probably have around 30 to 35 employees because it's important to delegate. But understand this, every single position that I've hired, I have done it before. Every single position. I've made the calls, I've done the market research, I've done every single thing that I've hired out, and that's why I'm able to train it so well. Now, if you do the things I mentioned day in and day out, and you are consistent with it, you're persistent and relentless in your pursuit to become a seven-figure land flipper, that is exactly what will happen for you. And look, I want it to happen. I want you to come back to this video 2 to 3 years from now and say, Femi, because you recorded that video and because you told me these quality things that I need to do, I've done it and I've become a seven-figure profit land investor. And I want you to really understand that that's what's possible for you if you just put in the work and do the 4 things that I laid out for you to do consistently. This has been Femi with Landverse, and I'll see you on the next video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and comment if you have any questions, or comment a topic that you want me to talk about next.